Good morning, everybody. Welcome, and I truly mean welcome to day 21 of the Appalachian Trail. Whew! I tell you, challenges, no doubt about it, here in these Smoky Mountains. Heavy, heavy rains last night. Heavy, heavy rains this morning. It's early. It's barely light, but I have a small reprieve in the rain. Conditions, you know what? Treacherous. I'll be glad when we drop down and get out of these Smokies, but from camp this morning, I still have 39 miles until I reach Standing Bear, which is the northern end of the Smoky Mountains, and hopefully lower altitudes. Yesterday, as we know, 200-mile marker, Clingman's Dome, the highest point on the Appalachian Trail. Whew. Yeah, challenging. Really, really slowing down the miles. The next shelter is 8 miles ahead of me. And the shelter after that is another 7 or 8 miles after that. And I doubt, under these conditions, if I'd be able to get to the second shelter, just because it's so challenging. Which means it's most probably going to be an 8-mile day, which is significantly less than I need in the big picture of things. Yesterday was 13 miles, much better, and I can live with that. But 8 miles, well, nothing I can do about it. It's just a little shy, you know, even if I could get over 10 or 12 miles. But there's no shelter, and you have to stay in the shelters or at the shelter property here in the Smokies. There's no wild camping. So be it. So yeah, day 21 starts off challenging. It ended challenging in the ice, the packed snow, the mud, the water, and again, rain all night. Supplies, I'm doing okay on supplies. It is taking longer to get through the Smokies, so, you know, you ration for, or you supply for a certain amount of time. It takes longer. Well, you use a few more supplies than you actually have, if that makes any sense. I always carry a little extra, but I will dig into those extras for sure before I get to Standing Bear. If I do the 8 miles today, that would leave 31 miles to Standing Bear as of tomorrow morning. Okay, you know what, guys? We're just going to wrap it up there because I'm very low on battery power also right now. So I have to conserve. Again, this is just due to the cold temperatures. And I try to keep my batteries warm. I put them in my sleeping bag on a night. And due to the extended time out here, so my batteries are having to kind of do double duty, if you will, or try to make them last longer than they normally would under normal conditions of vlogging and recording and so on. Okay, guys, we'll talk to you in a bit. Well, we've made it to Newfound Gap, Appalachian Trail, Katahdin, Maine, 1,972 miles. Well, let's not think about that one. And the weather, pretty much what you see. Rain, 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 and more rain.
Everybody was hanging out in the bathroom.
Okay. I think from here, it's about 3 miles to the next shelter. But you know what? It's hard to say. I haven't checked that much. I don't take my phone out because the rain has just been so heavy most of the time. The trail ahead of me, climbing. Oh well. I'm going to put this camera away before it gets too wet. Just a little kind of morning update. Not sure what time it is. Again, haven't checked the phone, but it's around 10 o'clock. We'll see. Okay, talk to you guys later. So today, I spent most of the afternoon at the Ice Water Springs shelter. Right there. All the bags hanging, all the guys getting ready for bed, finishing off their suppers and so on. A couple of hikers over here all putting their tents up and getting ready for their night. Hey, Jasper here, and you know what? It's the end of day 21 of our through hike attempt of the Appalachian Trail. And it's been rainy this morning, it's been foggy, it's been cloudy, and it's been cold. But don't let those kids over there in their t-shirts fool you. It is cold here today. Take a look at what we're looking at. And this is the best views we've had all day. There is a bit of breaking in the sky, a little bit of blue coming through the sky. But it's probably 6 o'clock at night now. It's getting ready for bed. I've had my supper. Tomorrow, day 22, promises to be a much better day. It promises to be sunshine. I have about 12.8 miles to the tri-shelter. The day after that, 14.7 miles to the Davenport shelter. And then we will hit the end of the Smokies. Happy about that. Saturday I have a night booked in a hostel. Be a hot bath, maybe some city food, some resupply. And I am so looking forward to that. But you know what? We've still got to get there. So I'm going to bid you a fond farewell. Have a great night. And let's just take a tour through the shelter before we sign off. And just see what it's like. A close-up, all the bags hanging. Drying, but they're not drying at all. Trying to. Guys eating. Now, this is something special that I've never seen before. Ramen noodles is a staple on the trail. We all eat it. It's an important part of the ramen bomb. But you must add water, hot water. Some people don't do that. But we're not going to mention any names, are we, 50 cents? Guys below, fast asleep. And you know what? That's where I'm going to be in just a few minutes. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 22 on the Appalachian Trail. I had a good night's sleep last night. Up bright and early this morning. Nothing to see. We're up on an observation kind of area, but all we're seeing is thick cloud this morning. Yeah. The trail. Well, right now, it's got that Jurassic feeling to it. Oh, it goes up, it goes down, it's slippy, but I'm noticing a slight drying trend. And if you notice in the camera, on the video, we're not seeing any snow right now. So this particular area here must have been kind of tread a little easier in the big storm that went through just a few days ago, last Saturday. And today is Thursday. Not sure the date. Is it the 16th, 17th of March, something like that? Okay. So we're still into winter here. But, yeah, take a look at Oblivion. There'd be amazing views. Steep drop-offs. But we see nothing. Today's plan, well, last night I stayed at the, I think it was called Icy Water Spring shelter. The next shelter that I'm stopping at, I believe it's 12.8 miles. So it'll be a 12.8 mile day, which is okay. And it will take me to the I don't know if it's called Tri Gap or Tri something shelter. That leaves me for tomorrow a 14.7 mile day to, I believe it's called the Davenport shelter. And that on Saturday morning leaves me a short, somewhere between 2 or 3 mile hike to the end of the Smoky Mountains. And there I get picked up, and some other hikers. We kind of arranged that together, but we all get picked up and we get taken to the Hikers Inn for the night, which is a hostel. Ooh, a little slippy here. Better just pay attention. Yeah, so we go there for the night to a hostel. I can get some laundry done. And the hostel owner shuttles us into town. And it's actually the town of Hot Springs that we passed through just a couple of days later, believe it or not. So we're going to pass through Hot Springs twice, or we're going to see Hot Springs twice. One in the shuttle on Saturday to resupply our foods. And then Sunday morning, they take us back to the trailhead where we met them and got off trail. And then we hike around 30 miles to Hot Springs again, where we get probably a larger resupply, although I don't know what the next resupply is after Hot Springs. I haven't checked yet. I haven't looked, haven't got that far. And probably another night in Hot Springs at that point in a hostel. So yeah, that's basically the overall plan for the next 3 or 4 days anyhow. The trail, well, my averaged distance per day is way down compared to other trails. I think right now I'm somewhere around the 10.1 mile per day average since I started, this being day 22. And you know what? That is a little disappointing to me insofar as I felt I could do better, but this is also the most challenging trail I've ever encountered. And I'm told in certain areas as I get north, there's areas where I can make up better mileage and boost that average back up a little bit. I was hoping to be able to maintain an overall average of around 15 miles a day, but I'm doubting if that would happen. So I guess the interim goal is for me to get that, if I can, that 10.1 mile a day into the 11 miles a day, and then the 12 miles a day, and see if I can get it to 12 miles anyhow. See if I can maintain that for a period of time. That would help. I only have a certain amount of time coming out of Canada. I am a permanent resident in Canada, so I'm not a Canadian citizen. I am a permanent resident, and I'm not sure if that actually gives me 90 days or the 180 days. I know a Canadian citizen would have 180 days allowable in the States and out of Canada. I think it's the same. I'm hoping it's the same for the permanent resident. But, in fact, if any of you guys know, post it below. I'd really like to know a bit more about that. Anyhow, again, a long way to go. Not much time to get there. I better move my sorry ass, get down this trail, so I'll talk to you guys just a little bit later on. The morning continues foggy, but every now and then, if you can see in the sky, brightness comes through. We've been very much in the clouds. Wet, damp, cold, all morning. It's got to be around 10. I'm going to say it's 10 a.m. right now, but I don't know. There'd be some beautiful views from here because we are way up high in the Smokies, a little over 6,000 feet, I'm guessing. But we see nothing but cloud. Wind's starting to pick up a little more. I think in some respects that's a good thing. I think it maybe breaks the cloud up a little bit, and with the sun working on it from above, hopefully, just hopefully, we're going to get some sunshine today. And that gives us the opportunity, of course, to dry things out. Even though in the rain we hike with a pack cover, the pack still gets wet. And you're carrying that water, that weight of that water, which you don't need to. So some nice sunshine and a gentle breeze would be great for drying things out. The trail ahead of us right now, we've had some good climbs today so far this morning, but right now we're on a nice level kind of earthen kind of trail, forest trail if you will, but a ridge. I think I'd call this a ridge because on both sides it's steep drop-offs, but again, because of the cloud, you just don't see anything. Okay, just a little kind of mid-morning check in there. And once again, I thought there was something behind me, but there isn't. or someone. But anyhow, just a little morning check-in, because it's about that time, and I had the opportunity because I wasn't climbing like I have done quite a bit this morning already. Good trail though, good trail today, so far. Challenging sections, but nowhere near as bad as other days that we've had. Okay, let's concentrate on getting along this trail. So, after a nice kind of early lunch, and I was ready for a sit-down break, just 15-20 minutes at the most, 15 minutes. It was nice, got to call home, had a signal, talk to my beautiful trail angel Joanne, and that's good. And she lost the mail key. Now she doesn't know what to do, but she'll figure it out. So, once or twice, people have asked me about trail food. And you know, it's as interesting as a person can possibly or wants to make it. For me, it's pretty simple. Again, lunch today, I had a chicken salad wrap, and then I had a Cliff bar and some electrolyte water. That was my early lunch at 11 a.m. And that's pretty much a staple at lunchtime for me. Sometimes, depending on how much time I have, or how much water I have, or what my food supplies are, I might do some instant mashed potatoes, and I mix in a cup of soup mix, a Lipton cup of soup mix into the instant mashed potato. Actually, I make the cup of soup and then I thicken it with instant mashed potatoes. That's quite nice too. It just varies. But that kind of thing for lunch during the day, kind of quick lunches, quick snacks, if you will. Nothing too exciting, unfortunately. The fog, the clouds, still very much alive and well. Quite chilly. The air is quite chilly. I put my toque back on. Just because my head was getting cold again, my ears. Damp, still very, very damp. Earlier we saw moments of, you know, a little bit of sunshine trying to poke through, but it's most definitely struggling, that's for sure. We're not seeing any signs of it right now. The temperature feels as though it's dropping. See the views, non-existent. And there would be beautiful views on a clear day on both sides of us, because we're around 6,000 feet, and some beautiful mountain tops up here to be seen and to be hiked across and so on, which is what we're doing. We just don't have the benefits of the view, or the benefit of the views. Oh well. Okay. A little bit of an 11 o'clock update. We're doing fine. So 11 o'clock, I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. Here in the Smokies, you have to kind of go from shelter to shelter to shelter, depending on where the shelters are. There's no camping of any kind in between shelters. So that limits what you can do mileage-wise. It's a little after 11, say 11:15, and I've got about 5 miles to go to my camp. That'll give me, I think it's a 12.4 mile day. So I passed a shelter, and the next shelter I come to is going to be mine. Now I could do more than that. I could do, say, a 15-mile day under normal circumstances, but not in the Smokies, because there isn't a shelter until about 22 miles, and that's just too far for me today. So my day is going to be a 12.4 mile day. Tomorrow, the shelter I stay at, I pass one and then stay at the Davenport shelter, I believe. That's a 14.4 mile day, or 14.7 mile day, something like that. That's kind of how it works here. Okay, let's keep going. Just take a look at this forest. My goodness, it's absolutely amazing. It's definitely Jurassic. It's earlier when the fog and the clouds were mingling through the trees. Wow, really, really interesting. But now that's clearing up a little bit, and it's still, and maybe even more so, really, really interesting. Just an absolutely beautiful trail. Take a look at the trail behind me. Wow. Yeah, isn't this amazing for day 22 on the Appalachian Trail? We're doing fine, somewhere around 3.5 miles to camp. The trail has been a little easier going today insofar as, well, we've had some good climbs for sure, but we haven't had those horrendous ones. And most of the snow and ice has gone off trail, as you can see. So it's been pretty good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Look forward to get to camp and make myself a cup of coffee. And then tomorrow, well, tomorrow will be my last full day in the Smoky Mountains. Wow, surprising, isn't it? One minute you're starting the Smokies, the next minute you're looking at finishing the Smokies. I'll be glad. I will be glad to have finished the Smokies and keep moving north. Okay. Yeah. Tri-corner shelter. Honey, I'm home, and I had a hard day. I hiked a lot. I hiked a long, long way. Okay. The shelter. Okay. So this is where we're going to call home for tonight after I believe it's a 12.4 day. So not huge by any means, but still not too bad. Campers, hikers getting their tent set up. Bear boxes in the distance. Looks just fine. Okay. Let us see what's going on in the tri-corner shelter. Well, here we go. Shelter.
Hello.
How you doing, guys?
Hey, Jasper.
Howdy.